EDLS 732 candidates. It is Dr. Palermo with your week one instructional video. A little bit of an introduction to, again, the format and the way I like to do things in Blackboard. Each week you will have a brief 5 to 10 minute instructional video from me introducing the big ideas for the week, the assignments for the week, and well, beginning the conversation that I hope you'll pick up and join with me in our Zoom sessions, in our dialogue boards, in our face-to-face sessions, which will be coming up soon. So in week one, you do have a couple of text readings, and I want to talk a little bit about the textbooks. This is Supervision by Glickman, Gordon, and Ross Gordon, and I'm going to be calling it Glickman and calling it Supervision. But this is your little hands-on guide to supervision as an aspiring superintendent. Teaching and learning is at the core of our mission, and I believe that instructional leadership is key to your successful leadership as an aspiring superintendent. Having a vision and actively leading can have powerful results in districts. I've seen it happen in Wake, I've seen it happen elsewhere, and I believe that we have a formula that, if followed, can help you be successful and lead continuous improvement at almost any level in any district. If we assume, and I believe, that leadership is both a science and an art, often the art of relationships and getting along with others, if we believe that at least part of this is scientific and that we can nail down certain things to do to improve teaching and learning for students and teachers, supervision really focuses on the science, on the things that you can do now. If leadership is both a science and an art, that we're going to provide you with some scientific tools for improving curriculum, instruction, and assessment. And it's important that we think about all three of those factors as a three-legged stool. Maybe you have a three-legged stool in your house somewhere and know that without one of those legs, the stool's going to fall over and be a pretty inefficient little stool. Curriculum, instruction, and assessment are three interrelated pieces that must be in place for schools to improve. That said, you haven't read this stuff yet. I hope that you'll read chapter 1 before we, read chapter 1 sometime this week. It is not expected that you do that prior to our first meeting in Zoom on the 15th, but start reading Supervision, please, and then we'll be responding to some dialogue posts about it. The other textbook that you need to get started on right away is this Graham and Ferreter Building PLCs. Now, another assumption of this program, and it's underlying the framework in DPI's evaluative instruments, is that collaboration is happening in districts. Whether you have active PLCs in your school or in your district right now, it is the assumption that working together in teams and collaborating will help improve teaching and learning for students. So Graham and Ferreter Building PLCs is your roadmap to collaboration. And you'll be working this semester leading a team yourself, so you'll have a chance to practice some of these collaborative and team building tools, and you'll also lead this team to assess the state of PLCs in your district. Doesn't matter where you are, you're going to be auditing the current state of PLCs in your district and making recommendations for improvement. The philosophy is continuous improvement. We can start with wherever we are in a certain place. We assess the current state and then make plans to improve. We put a plan in place, we monitor it, and then we assess at the end to see what can be improved. And I'll be saying more about that in both our Zoom and our face-to-face sessions. Again, we will meet face-to-face several times, but that first session isn't until February 1st and 2nd. In the meantime, we do have a Zoom session coming up in our very first week of teaching. The Gardner Webb first week of graduate classes is January 13th through the 21st. And on January 15th from 6 to 7 p.m., I'd like you to click this link or cut and paste this URL and join me with the rest of the class for a 6 to 7 p.m. Zoom meeting. At that point, I hope, like lots of first classes, that you'll introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself, and tell me, because the rest of you know one another, and talk a little about your goals, as well as both your vision for curriculum and instruction, leadership, and also perhaps we can talk about the current state of PLCs. But you don't have to have anything done prior to that Zoom session. Just block out a little bit of time and join us. I hope that you can. Supervision and Graham and Ferreter are the readings this week. I would like you to review the evidences, the CIIP, ABCD, over on the left-hand tab. These are two dialogue posts. You get 9 credits for EDCI 732, and in addition to our face-to-face classes and our Zoom classes, I'm going to ask you to read and respond a little bit each week to some of our readings. In the case of the first book, Glickman et al., read the descriptions of these 3 schools and respond, please. You don't need to do that right now. In fact, it'd probably be a good idea if we talked first in our first Zoom session and then perhaps respond to these dialogue board posts. Vision, passion, purpose, that's another post based on the PLC, and you'll click here to then add your creative thread and begin. Okay? That's, if you're not familiar with Blackboard, you may want to check that out. How do I get back? Operator error. Sorry. That's it for my instructional video. Please tune in to the Zoom session on Wednesday, January 15th, 6 p.m. Cut and paste this into a new browser window if you need to, if the link doesn't work. And I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you. Have a great week. Do contact me if you have a question. Here's how to do that. At the course overview page, there's my information, including cell numbers. Call or text me, write me at this email address, and I'll respond. Or alternately, click questions for my instructor, and I'll respond to you there. Have a great week. Thank you.